What if something with Bite's biggest twist wasn't in the script, but hidden in a single frame? Today, we're exposing the secret even the director tried to bury. The film opens with a man running in terror, clearly being chased by someone or something. Suddenly, a shadowy figure appears behind him, attacks, and brutally kills him. This was no ordinary killer. It was a werewolf, a terrifying creature that is half human and half wolf. The scene then shifts to a veterinarian named Wilbert, who is at home with his son. As he clumsily eats, jam spills all over his clothes, prompting him to wipe it off with a tissue before heading to his clinic. At the clinic, Wilbert's two assistants are already at work. Though he's an animal specialist, Wilbert doesn't seem to have much affection for animals. He lounges comfortably while watching TV. A news report plays, announcing that a man was killed by an unidentified animal the previous night. Just as Wilbert absorbs this disturbing news, a frightened man rushes into the clinic. He tells Wilbert that while passing through the forest, an animal suddenly appeared in front of his truck and was injured in the collision, but the injured animal turns out to be an enormous werewolf, so massive that even the clinic's largest stretcher was too small for it. The werewolf clings to life but is barely conscious. When it twitches slightly, one of Wilbert's assistants is violently thrown across the room. All the dogs in the clinic begin barking uncontrollably, reacting to the terrifying presence. Around the werewolf's neck is a locket inscribed with the name Michael. Wilbert realizes he needs help treating it, but the truck driver refuses to assist out of fear. When the assistant tries to help again, the werewolf lashes out, biting Wilbert and injuring him severely that Wilbert collapses, and the werewolf dies shortly after. When Wilbert regains consciousness, he bandages his wound and injects himself with a painkiller. He heads home, but feels a strange tingling throughout his body. That night, feeling unusually hot, he asks his wife to open the windows and goes to bed early. By morning, Wilbert wakes up with an odd burst of energy and heightened senses, especially smell. Turning on the news, he learns that another murder was committed the previous night by the same kind of mysterious creature. But how could this be? The werewolf he encountered was already dead. The case becomes more mysterious as the police continue their investigation. Unsure if the attacker is an animal or a human disguised as one, Wilbert begins to notice changes in himself. While having breakfast, he finds himself sniffing his son's cereal like a dog. Later, at the clinic, he examines the werewolf's corpse again and is shocked to find that its teeth are unnaturally sharp and even seem artificially filled. As he inspects its mouth, a dog barks, startling him. Disturbed, Wilbert stops the examination. Soon after, an elderly couple arrives at the clinic, crying and demanding the body of the werewolf. They reveal that the creature was their son, Michael. Though Wilbert initially refuses due to police protocol, he eventually gives in and hands over the body. Before leaving, they give Wilbert their card back inside. Wilbert's assistant informs him that the other assistant hasn't shown up. When Wilbert angrily calls, the missing assistant makes a lame excuse, though he's just watching a movie. Later, Wilbert returns home exhausted and falls asleep on the sofa. His wife informs him that their son Oliver is upset because Wilbert missed his competition, despite promising he'd attend. When Wilbert goes to apologize, Oliver refuses to talk to him. As Wilbert leaves the room, he feels intense itching at the bite wound. But when he removes the bandage, the wound is gone. Looking up at the full moon, he starts to feel uncontrollable itching all over his body, and suddenly, he transforms into a werewolf. In his werewolf form, Wilbert loses all sense of self. He leaves the house and encounters his assistant, then brutally attacks and kills him. By morning, Wilbert is back in his human form. Muddy footprints lead from the open window to his bed, indicating he returned during the night, but he remembers nothing. As days pass, Wilbert transforms his personality, becoming tougher, more confident, and strangely distant. His voice changes, and he starts obsessing over wolves. He even puts up a photo of Michael in his clinic. His instincts sharpen to the point that he diagnoses animal illnesses without any tests. One assistant jokingly tells him, "It seems like you're one of them," which Wilbert doesn't take lightly. Soon, the police arrive at the clinic to investigate the recent killings. They ask Wilbert if he has treated or seen any large wolf-like creatures recently. Wilbert stays silent, nervously hiding Michael's photo. The officer then informs him that his assistant was killed the previous night, something Wilbert can't comprehend. Despite being the killer, Wilbert has no memory of it. The officer shows him graphic photos of the victim's body, and Wilbert becomes visibly distressed. When asked again about the creature, he denies knowing anything, but his nervousness makes the officer suspicious that after the police leave, Wilbert begins comparing his teeth to the werewolves and realizes that he has become one. Unsure what to do, he decides to visit Michael's parents, who had taken Michael's body and given him their card. When Wilbert confesses his transformation, they reveal a shocking truth. They too are werewolves. But not just them, their kind secretly inhabits the entire city. Wilbert is stunned and asks if they are responsible for the murders. They assure him that they are peaceful and vegan, living without harming others. Michael's father explains that being a werewolf doesn't change who you are, it only amplifies your true nature. A good human remains good as a werewolf. A bad one becomes dangerous. On his way home, Wilbert learns that another assistant has been attacked by a werewolf but survived. This raises police suspicion toward Wilbert, as all attacks are linked to his clinic. Determined to clear his name, Wilbert investigates by sniffing the wounded assistant's body and follows the scent to find the real killer. He tracks down the culprit and transforms into a werewolf, ready to fight. To his surprise, the attacker is not a werewolf at all, but a deranged man obsessed with werewolves. This man had committed the murders in disguise, hoping that real werewolves would notice him and bite him so he could become one. Dressed in a werewolf costume, the man begs Wilbert to bite him. But Wilbert refuses, recognizing the danger of giving such power to someone already so twisted that when the man persists, Wilbert attacks, biting off his hand and ultimately killing him. In the final scene, Wilbert hosts a family dinner, now joined by Michael's parents, symbolizing that he has found a new family among the werewolves. The film ends on a bittersweet note, as Wilbert finally embraces his new identity and learns to live with it. That's so genius twist or total nonsense. Fight it out below. Down arrow, and if you spotted a detail we missed, drop it in the comments. Prove us wrong. Thanks for watching.